What's up, everybody? Got no intro, got none of that. I had technical difficulties the other day. Apparently, something was screwed up on their end or something. Can y'all hear me? I guess I should ask that first. What's up, Carl, Eric, Billy? I saw PJ, Snooks come in. KP Heathen. What's up, Roni? Cool, thank you. What's up, Michigan Outpost? What live? What's up? So how are y'all been doing? Rabbit Coyote, what's up, brother? Echo. Man, was working on the chickens, but then the past few days we've kind of had storms come through, so haven't been able to get out as much. I got a cool ass Christmas gift. I got one of those black stone griddles. What's up, Kiss Off? Hey, sis. Blackbird, turning guns. Make sure I didn't miss nobody. Nope. Okay. It's rained off and on most of the day. Yeah, it's been storming. Today is nice and sunshiny, clear skies. Now get all this crap to dry up. Hey, Miss Bonnie, Miss Teresa. And thank you, Michigan. I've been wondering how y'all been doing. There was, just kind of, I don't know, man. I had to get out of the shit. So I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to, I had to. I'll tell you, YouTube and the social media, that was a different ride. That was a different ride for sure. Kind of just had to deal with some stuff, basically. I don't know. I've never received help. I've never been one to go around asking for help. It's never been my thing. I had the little auction to raise money to build the chicken coop and stuff. And then I had people that have helped me. And man, I never thought that it would make you feel icky, if that makes any sense. What up, Mr. William? Miss Cheryl, how are you, ma'am? Hey, Ross. Sorry, I had to scroll up. Mad Shad, greetings from the Erie Coast. Man, I had a few things I wanted to send you. I don't know, man. I felt, it really got in my head. Almost childish like, all of a sudden I got the cold shoulder and shunned, and that was like, wow. And it just really it takes me a minute. And social media, it was a newer platform. I just have to insert the good old way of life rules. So that's all I'm doing. Hey, shorty. But I really take it to, because I don't know. I can't say it any plainer, but I don't usually mean to hurt people's feelings unless I say I do. And then I gladly will say I do. What's up, Best Life? What's up, sir? Dennis, Bigfoot. So I just kind of had to step out, put things in perspective. And I don't want anybody to take this as some personal thing, and anybody that thinks anything I'm saying is directly to you, then all you got to do is ask me. I got nothing to hide. Hell, half the time I don't say things out loud just so I don't hurt nobody's feelings. What's up, fish sticks? Anti-Jack, what? Did I miss Anti-Jack coming in? Yeah, I did. There he is. Hey, Miss Sharon. Well, you can, and like I said, this isn't, I just don't really, I don't know how else to explain, but it's like this becomes like an addiction, you know, this becomes, in a way, your fix, and that's cool. I'm not knocking that at all, but man, and I realized that it's like, wow, I've been saying that, and I guess I didn't apply it to myself, but you got to watch what you put in. Otherwise, it occupies all the space. And so if you have X amount of room and the majority of it is negative shit, then it's going to be kind of hard to see the positives. And I said it. I just didn't practice it until I realized when I took a break, it was like, oh, wow, I'm not in that every day where it's the world is going to end and everybody's out to fucking get me. And, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, day to day life. It's amazing. And so it was kind of like a little wake up call. And then, to be honest, there was moments, I'm not going to lie. There were moments and I'd be like, man, you know what? I wonder what everybody's doing. I ought to go live. And then I'd go, oh, man, I just don't know. Because it's, I don't know. Yeah, social media just ain't. It ain't got the sexy appeal that it used to. What's up, Pilgrim? You know what? I don't know. Give me a car, I'll hook you up, man. I just never wanted to get some stuff off my chest. And I've been trying to catch some off and on. I'll listen in on some and then I just get busy. Been trying to focus on doing stuff. Getting the chickens stationary. Yeah, I did. Michigan. There was some. I don't know the platform. Word I was looking for. The platform was having some kind of issue, I guess. And for the while, I thought it was me and something with my computer. So I'm going through everything. And finally, I'm like, man, look, all my shit is working out. I don't understand. So then I reached out to them. Well, then of course, like most communication emails, businesses, it take them a minute. But then they realized they had an issue on their end. But yeah, I scheduled it and everything was fine. And then it's like, okay, so I'm kind of getting ready. I got me some coffee. And then I went to go back into it. And all of a sudden, everything was all screwed up. It was like it was like it wasn't acknowledging me. So it was like I was a new user with no account or anything. And I'm like, no, it's right there. What in the hell? Hey, what's up, Indy? And so it just that I was like, what am I going to do? Okay, I can't. So then I just was like, delete. That's all I know to do. Not as much fun on social media. Oh man, and the soap opera. See, I don't even do that shit at work or in real life. I don't do all that drama shit and he said, she said, and I don't know, man. And then that is the existence. Hell, there's people that actually their existence is to just shit talk other people. I mean, go figure that. I've even talked about that before. Hell, there's channels that's their theme. Their theme is to let's go watch this channel and we can talk shit about the things that they're saying, even though we're not part of that conversation. And it's just like, wow, why does that find it entertaining? Oh, and by the way, yes, I saw your message, Kiss Off. I'm sorry. I just saw Eric ask me about the email, and so I remembered you asked me about the message. And yes, ma'am, thank you very much. Can't wait. And yes, Eric, I'm sorry, I just have not replied. Wolverines. That's it. What, Miss Loretta? Did Miss Loretta come sliding in and I didn't mean it? Rock steady. Yes, it is rock steady. Wait, damn, I even forgot what I was doing. I got to scrolling up through messages. Dido, what's up, buddy? Miss Greta. Yeah, I just had to kind of reset. G-Mom Merkel, I had to scroll up and see that. And I hope everybody had an awesome Christmas. I got to see my grandkids, got to see my kiddos. It looked like the missus kind of went out of her way and got with the kids, and they kind of made it a dad day, and that was kind of cool. Kind of needed that, you know. Man, one thing we got to remember and see, and it's weird because one thing by being out too, I noticed. See, it's different because when you sit up here and communicate, it's different than you just type. Shut up! I'm not listening to your crap. Lay down. I swear to God, I'm gonna get you one of them collars and I'm gonna zap your happy ass. Taser, taser, taser. Zzz. I'm so tired of hearing the barking. Sorry about that mild interruption. Man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna bop you upside the head. I'm sitting right here and everything's just flipping ass fine. Don't need to hear that shit. Excuse me. What? Somebody said Grumpy Acres. Wild country. Man, I keep missing people. Matt, come in. Who taught the G kids how to run the skid? Oh, yeah, I bet they did, son. Had to catch it. Oh, hey, man, D-Dog Alamo's doing pretty cool. Before this rain the past few days, we were out there, and Alamo's got 3 white feathers on his tail now. We kind of laughed and said, "Damn it, man, you ain't even old enough to get gray hairs yet. Them hens driving you crazy." But yeah, it's like he's got 3 light colored white feathers. What did I miss? Gee, my Merkel, I always win an argument. Hell yeah, everybody is a legend in their own mind. Hey, Carolina. Stiff. Mr. Roger that. Yeah, you just, I don't know. You, it's just so, man. And you got to be careful too, because, I've realized that there is, how do you say it? I don't know, because it's like an evil force. There's good and evil. So if you use that context, then you have an evilness that will, man, if you're in a vulnerable spot, then it'll find a way to burrow in. I guess I've referred to it like a cancer before and stuff, and sometimes you're down deep, and that hand up isn't always a hand up. It's just stepping out of one puddle into another. And so you kind of, people are so quick. What was it I just saw? Oh, I saw some video, some thumbnail popped up, and it said why trains don't go clickety clack anymore. And I'm like, well, I don't know. You ought to get out of your area. People have such tunnel vision. They think that whatever they see or experience, that's got to be everywhere. Because I laughed. I went, what do you mean trains don't go clickety clack? Dude, have you sat down in that barber shop before when that train goes through town? That's all it does is clickety clack through that whole town. Hell, it goes right beside a bank, the courthouse. Them railroad tracks down in that town to go right through town. I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. I just want to know how y'all are doing. How are y'all doing? How are things on your side? How are things in your neck of the woods? I'm trying to figure out some kind of way to start out. I know what I want. Talk about acting like a kid. I don't know, man. I guess I'm just not. I have a very hard time admitting that I can't do some things anymore. And some things I just can't seem to. I don't know if my brain's fucked up or what. Pardon the French, but right while there's always a midnight train. Shut up. Don't start that. They are over there looking at their garden doing their thing. Not even remotely close. Just because you can see them move doesn't mean you need to worry about it. What are you, some kind of fucking liberal dog? I got a libtard dog. Hey, Miss Lisa. Chi-Chis and Cha-Chas. Getting a great Texas tan. Yeah, I tell you, man. It's pretty. I just couldn't go out there because it's all muddy. I tried to, but then I couldn't find a spot that I was getting stuck. So I just worked my way around to the front perch. Okay, so let's see if what am I going to do here? Do this? No. I do this. And this. Okay, this. Yeah, I was sure watching around here, Ronnie. I was waiting for that treetop to come falling out of that tree, but it didn't. It's still hanging in there. It's just going to be a widowmaker till I'm not here no more. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. And then this. I don't know if that worked or not. If somebody would like to come up. Yeah, Miss Bonnie. And we're set now that I got this. Although I think last night I was curing that griddle, but I think because it was dark, and so I think I screwed it up. I might just scrape it clean. I think I got too thick of a layer of oil on there. So, which isn't a big deal. Just scrape it clean, heat it up, and then put a thinner layer so it can blend in better. Yeah, that whole little storm. I guess you'd say southwest of us coming in. It kind of cleared us, but we come out of it okay. Hey, Tiger, what's up? Grease on, grease off. That's it. Oh, look, there's Carl.
What are you doing, Ricky? It's good to see you, man.
There we go. Doing all right.
I guess what's this called? Streamlabs. Totally different. Can you hear me?
Yep. Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Right on, right on. I can't believe it let me do this. I normally can only use StreamYard, man. I've never been able to get up on Zoom, and I haven't been able to get on Streamlabs before. This is new.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one that I've had because, well, I had the Streamlabs that wasn't this. They didn't have the talk thing. All they had was that's where I used to get the game from and that stuff. But then they bought a chat program that was called Mellow, and it's like StreamYard. Well, then, oh, you can come up, Bonnie. I think I can have like 10 or 12 people here and like 15 people in backstage.
Woohoo! So, it's going to be a party.
I mean, I've thought that's why I told Indy one time I thought about doing some like a movie night thing because, since I can have people up on the thing and so many backstage, then hell, you can end up with 25 people being able to watch a movie or something.
Yeah, that's fun sometimes. I mean, I've been there a couple times. I like, I don't know. I like the talking. I like talking to the people, though. It's good to see you back, dude. You were missed. All right, I missed that morning stuff. All right, I do. You're missed, brother.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna try to come up with something. I just gotta see this. I mean, this is just being honest with people. So, but it's not like up until I met Indy during the election and then the COVID shit. And I didn't, this whole social media, it's like Facebook. The only reason I had Facebook was because customers had played them damn games. And so it's like, I'm working on your computer. What game is it you said you can't do? Oh, it's a Java game. Okay, let me see. Yep, there you go. So I don't. I'm just not a hell. I'm not a social person in real life. I
Well,
live
I
among a
get
few
it.
couple hundred people, and there's probably only about a dozen of them that actually know me. Ooh, I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you in the head.
Is that Rudy or the new one?
No, that's the new one. Shit, no. Any dog that I had raised, I don't have barking dogs. They kind of learn real, understand, and they get it. This creation,
Yeah, I had a
demon
dog that
child.
never even barked. I had a dog for 17 years. She never barked at nothing.
Oh, if I could turn this around without any of them moving, you would see her like all ears up and just like focused on what they're doing down there in their garden because there's movement. And then you could look and like, oh, I'm gonna say that's 2.5 feet, 2.5 feet away from her is Rudy, who's just laying there in the sun looking off over in that direction and doesn't give a rat's ass about anything. Because he's like, you know what? If dad doesn't care, I don't care.
So, what were you talking about? Regretting getting help from people
Yeah, it just, I don't know, man. It
because
made me
it's too
feel
much
icky.
drama, or you feel like you're less of a person or something because you needed the help?
No, it just, it's the way it played out. It just, it's like it's almost like you get help, but then there's hidden expectations. And if you don't meet those, you don't know what they are. But if you don't meet them, then you're just like outcasted in the blink of an eye. Like
Hmm.
literally, like, hey, Carl, what's up? And oh yeah, how you doing? Okay, and that's the last word I say to you. That's it. You sit there and talk to me, and I just look the other way, and you're just kind of going, so okay, what the fuck just happened? Oh no. And so that's, I just realized, I wouldn't have probably taken that so personal if I hadn't have accepted some help. And then you accept that and you feel like it's like, because this is all new shit. And then it comes back to bite you in the ass. And it just, I don't know. It just made me feel icky. I can't say it
Number
makes sense. All
one,
I can tell you is
number
how it makes me
one.
feel.
I first off, I've experienced this many times. All right, where somebody will reach out to me. I think I'm developing a relationship with the person, and then it just, with no answer or reason why, they ghost you. All right, and I've never really understood that, but I don't let it keep me down. All right, I move on. I'll concentrate on the people who are in contact with me still. If somebody wants to ghost me, that's okay. All right, it's okay. No hard feelings. I'm gonna move on to the ones that matter. You know, and
Yeah.
because it's actually happened not so long ago. All right, it happens to me. I just recently had people reach out and help me. All right, and it's a weird feeling because I I like taking care of myself. All right, and I haven't had to beg, borrow, that type of thing. I I'm in a boat to where if somebody could have helped me, it would get me a long ways. I feel like people have invested in me, and now I'm going to do something with it. All right, I've got my tires, brother. I've got my
Oh,
brakes. The
yeah.
stuff's going. They're going on Monday. It's people like you I think about, man. I think about coming down there. Now I want to help you. I don't care if it's that limb up in the tree or whatever it is we do, but I will have a blast doing that with you. All right, and it's
I tell you, you come down here and we'll get you put to work with that lake around here and all these boat tarps and all these stuff. Oh, yeah.
well, threaten me with a good time, but
That's it.
all right. Now, the people that have helped me, and I can't say they want to remain anonymous, all right, which is understandable. But I feel like if I can provide some content, number one, number two, show them that I've done something with it. All right, it's gonna help me grow, man. And it'll be because of them. I don't want my eyes to start leaking or nothing, but I'm touched, man. I'm not feeling the regret of asking for help. I'm feeling thankful. All right, which is kind of surprising me. All right,
Yeah.
because I
But
don't
okay.
feel like a
But
worthless
let me
shit,
ask you something, Carl. But see, and hey, what's up, Hutch?
What's going on, Hutch?
What if you want to leave it on, Miss Bonnie, or you want? Okay, I just wasn't going to just throw you up there with it if you were like, oh, I didn't know you was fixing to do it that quick. It's like,
Oh, your microphone's not on.
oh, oh, yeah, it's showing that it's muted. There you go.
Is it okay?
Yep, there you are.
Woohoo! It's good to see you, Rescue.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
good to
Miss
see you.
Bonnie, are you
Hey,
sitting on the porch where you used to sit all the time?
well, sorta. I'm not in the same exact spot because we're putting in floor and we've got rows of carpet and just it's a mess. And
Oh,
so,
right on.
okay, I'll come outside. My flag's kind of rolled up, not, not,
What? Why
not
is your
great
flag rolled up?
because I
Because
had
her daughter ripped the floor out of her house and is single-handedly replacing the entire floor.
Okay,
and
so wait a minute. So okay, then here, I'm sorry. See, I just assumed that everybody knew this. But they have these little hanger things that you screw on poles out in the yard, and then you can stick the flagpole in it, and the flag can actually fly outside. That's where I put mine. It doesn't hurt them a bit. You don't even have to have a fence in your yard or nothing. They don't run away or anything.
so I just had an overhang put on, and all the posts were replaced, and it. We've had work going on here.
I was just picking on you because the way Carl said that about the floor, it was like we were talking about the
I know,
flag. Oh man.
but my daughter is doing a heck of a job, and so then we decided to get wallpaper because doing a floor just wasn't enough. So I get to
Right.
be busy and doing things.
You got to turn your house upside down to replace the floor.
Yeah, and I have heavy furniture, and so the sofa and love seat we put out in the by the road and put a free sign on it is gone. And I said, okay, that's gone. And I have patio furniture, and I was like, I'm just pulling that in. It's I want it simple. I'm
That's it.
all the clutter, and I'm gonna be giving a whole lot of stuff away. My neighbors are gonna be very happy.
If you don't stop, then these people are fixing to watch me just snatch you up and slap the
Still
living
got
shit out of it.
still got pumpkin.
Tiger 454 made a good point. You know, she doesn't ghost people. She'll tell people right out, but she's busy. And sometimes I've had people go, why ain't you answering my emails or whatever? It's because I'm busy and I will usually get to it. Sometimes I miss stuff. Sometimes they go to your spam folder or something like that, but
How do
it's,
I?
uh, it's, it's not always ghosting. People's lives can change on you. Like, look at Jerry. His computer died. We hadn't seen him for 2 months. He's back,
Yeah,
but
no. Well, no, whenever I meant ghosting, no, I get what you guys are saying, but no, this was literally just like it doesn't matter what question gets asked, what gets said, even ask point blank, and never a response, not even just there's nothing. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, okay.
I'm sorry, that sucks, man. And it used to really bother me a lot, Rescue. I used to let that shit get under my skin. And now I've
Well,
got all of you. I've got all of you now. All right. So when somebody does that to me, usually in real life, yeah, I'm less affected by it because I've got the support. And I'm not talking financial. I'm talking about just the
wait,
socializing. I'm learning how to socialize too, Rescue,
somebody said hi to Dusty. Big Dusty,
Yeah,
little Dusty. What's up? Dusty Country Roads.
I just call them the Dusties now.
What did somebody say? Elusive too?
Yes.
Oh, what's up, Elusive? Miss Elizabeth?
Yeah, your chat's flying.
Well, I'm sorry if I missed anybody, so never mind intent. Try to say hi to everybody.
And that's it. Hi, everybody.
It's not always easy, man. The chat will roll and scroll up really fast, and you'll miss people coming in. You know, it can be tough keeping up with the chat.
Oh, that's why I catch like Dusty, and then I caught it because somebody else said hi, and it was like, what? Phew. And then Elusive, same thing. No, and it's just, I'm not trying to make a deal out of that. It's just, this is just something that I dealt with, and and I don't mean the way this comes out, because I run these sentences through my head and I go, man, that kind of sounds pretty bold statement there, but and so I just try. That's why I'll go. I don't mean it this way because I get how it might come out, but it's my channel, and so I know
And
people come here to interact with me. Well, if you wonder where I've been, then I kind of go, well, here's what's been going on, and so that's. It's not that I'm trying to bitch about anything, or it's just kind of like, this is what's been going on. And I'm not a help asker. I don't ask for it. And then I got it. And it just kind of, I feel bad. There's been some stuff I've been helped with, and I still haven't managed to get shit done. And seeing that bothers me because then it's kind of like, it'd be like, okay, like, and I'll put it like in an analogy for you that you could understand it, Carl. It's like, so you said you got the tires and you got the brake stuff, and now you have this planned to be put on, but if between now and then something else comes up, so now it gets put off 2 weeks.
well, it already
And then in
happened,
that
brother.
2 weeks,
It
something
already
gets put
happened.
off. So it gets put off for 2 months. And then during that 2 months, some other shit comes up. So now, and it ends up being a year later. And then, but you talk to the people that helped you maybe get the tires and the brake stuff. And you're then you start to think about that going, man, I don't want to let y'all down. Y'all were helping me. And seeing that's just, and I'm not saying that, hey, by all means, listen to me. I'm your motivational coach. Take my shit for granted and you need to wear this like a badge. Nope, not saying that at all. This is where it goes shit. I don't like being beholden to
Well,
anybody.
you're not too far off. You're not too far off right now. I just spent 4 hours talking to customer services and trying to find one of my lost tires. I ordered 6. I received 5. One of them is lost in the wind. All right. The seller won't return my messages. They're blowing me off. It's been a few days. I opened up the case and I ended up spending all this time with FedEx. And apparently, I just received a call before coming up here that they found the tire and it's on its way. Be here by the 30th. Meanwhile, I'm moving ahead, putting the ones on the rims that I got, and because I got tubes that are going in there and all that. But I'm gonna still go forward. All right, even if I get stumbled up, that's where I've been. I mean, I work. I'm thankful that I pay my bills and I've kept, like this lot that I rent. I've kept this over a year, but I'm not getting anywhere. My goal was not being reached. I need to be able to. The guy, I thought he sold the property. He come right to the closing day last Wednesday. I find out it didn't sell. And now he's like, well, you could stay, but I don't want to stay. Rescue. I've been sitting still. I need to move. I need some action in life. So, it's like I will handle those hurdles. Every flipping thing I do has a multitude of hurdles I've got to go through. I'm not going to let it, trip me up. I'm still gonna move with. In fact, I think it was Bonnie who made me decide to ask. All right, Bonnie's the one that convinced me that there's people out there that could help me. And like I said, I'm not begging. I need investment, right? And it's all it is push in the right direction, man. Because I can make money. I do fine doing that. There's no work here right now. Winter happens like that every time for the upholsterers. I'm gonna
Some people
find
like to
work.
read.
I just gotta be able to move around, you know.
Can I say something to both of y'all? This is
No,
this
I don't. You can only say it to Carl. How you gonna do that?
this is a little bit of advice that my mama always gave me. She said, if you are given a gift, whether it's from her or anyone else, it's up to you what you do with it and not anybody else. It's nobody else's business. It's yours to do with what you want. And if it takes time to get your goals completed, don't worry about it. It'll get done.
Well, I already said that I was gonna do more content. I'm gonna come visit everybody who invited me. I mean,
Hey,
I
tell
am
him about
sick.
CQ. What's up across the pond, sir?
What's up, CQ? Yeah, I'm gonna do exactly what I said I was gonna do. All right, that's all.
Oh, well, and that's Kiss Off kind of gave me that. I think, yeah, she gave me that lecture back when helping because it's like it's their blessing, they're doing it for them, and I get that, so I'm not knocking any of that. So don't think I'm rebutting any of that. I'm not. It just there's those oddball ones. I'm not saying this is like you know some kind of new shit. It's just my first experience because I'm not active in that thing. So it was kind of like it's pretty hurtful,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like shit. Okay. Poster side
Well,
about Bolivar, Missouri has a 9-month waiting list. Looky there. Now
yeah.
there's a place down there in Bolivar, Missouri. They got a 9-month waiting list. I guarantee you, this damn upholstery shop that was going here, that dude probably, I don't even know if he's still in anymore. He probably got so overwhelmed, he just
Well, and
shut the
I
door.
absolutely love that they're saying this stuff, and I probably will check that place out because I'm going to Missouri. I got a bunch of invites down there, and I actually know that place. I've been down there around Joplin and up in the Ozarks and all that before, but I've had shops. I've had
Later,
three shops.
Rocksteady.
My last shop folded up like a lawn chair because of COVID, and I couldn't keep it. And I'm kind of sick of fighting for my own shop, except I have a rolling shop. I can take this sewing machine to Army surplus and motorcycle swap meets and marinas, and maybe even an upholstery shop will let me come and work part time or do some jobs, catch them up. I've done that from shops before. I'm liking the idea of being mobile. All right, because I have been forced to be
Shit,
mobile for
I'd like
long
to be
enough to
mobile
where,
just in my yard.
well, I'm kind of digging the idea, of not permanently landing yet. It would take, I think it would take some pretty amazing circumstances to make me want to stay somewhere too long.
Well, you
And
never know when the spot hits you. I know I never thought about being stationary until all of a sudden this. And that's why I'll tell anybody, man, the best thing you can do for yourself is to stop at the end of your driveway and stop and look at that and go, if you had to get out of your car in a wheelchair right now, can you function? Can you get around your yard? Can you do the things that you do every day? And then I
right.
think most people would go, probably not. And it's like, yeah, and it's worth looking into now because you just
Yeah.
never know when that moment might happen.
Yep. Get the ramps built.
Well, and the level spot, it's like I took for granted
Yeah.
going over into my little shop out there. And then all of a sudden this happened. And it's like, oh my God, I can't even go in my shop. I can't even tell you the last time I've been to them tools back there on that bench. My
Yeah.
drill press is still back there on that bench. All them tools are still out on that bench. They've been there now for, what are we going on, like 7 years now? And it's like, wow, who would have thunk that shit?
And well, and that's why I was traveling around. I really wanted to go further, but um, we were up around Tyler, Marshall, all in that area. But we were just going small town to small town. I don't know if you saw any of those videos, but
A couple
it
of
was
them, yeah.
it was um, it was kind of a flight thing because of everything that's been going on this past year. But also, it was just like I wanted to share Christmas with the ones who can't leave their homes. That because I know there's a lot of them, and but boy, it kicked my butt. It was it's been a long time since I've been able to travel like that, and but I'm ready to go again. So I understand Carl wanting to be mobile. There's advantages to it, but the biggest
I am so tired of having to get rides from people to go do stuff. I mean, like when I had to get my license and take the driving test over and get to the insurance and get insurance again because all the stuff I've gone through, I feel like I'm a
What's up,
burden on
420?
people.
right,
Always needing a ride from somebody and crap.
Hell,
That's
dude, this is
wearing
the first
on.
time. This is the first time since I was 14 years old that I ain't had a vehicle.
yeah. But
It's
the
enough to
biggest,
drive you nuts, man. I mean, I used to be the guy that used to drive people around. You got a big truck like this, you're the guy that moves people every time they got to move. It's like
but the
I've
biggest
been
thing,
hobbled. I've
the
been
biggest,
hobbled too long.
the biggest thing that I found though is that humanity is not lost. The people were amazing. They were all, everyone was cheerful. They were, I don't think we even saw a grumpy person the whole everything with the staying in motels, B&Bs. It, of course, the people at B&Bs, they're they're way more accommodating, but there's still a lot of good people out there. And you know what I loved, Rescue? Almost every barn I saw had a Texas flag roof on it.
Flame
That's it.
on, poor Tony.
I was like, I want that on my roof.
Well, I hope patriotism comes back. I hope nationalism comes back. I hope we can clear the fog that we've been under for the last 6 years.
Yes. And that, that's one of the
What's up,
gifts.
yard dog?
One of my daughters bought me a book, and it's patriotism. It's a 30-day book. And so every time I go live, we're going to do a day all together and answer these. It's like, what do you think of this? And it's got like two questions for each day, but it's how you pull patriotism back in. It's it's pretty cool. Y'all see.
Sounds like a good book.
Yeah.
She's been listening on the side to these lives, and she's actually even talking about starting to put up some content. And so she sees where we're at, and she has a bunch of friends that are the same way. And so I'm working on her with the assembly actually. But
There you go.
she's about secession also. So I'm trying to change that. I don't think we're ready for that yet.
We don't need division. We need unity.
Yes.
Well,
And
that wouldn't be an overnight anything. That would be something that would start. And who knows? That might actually be something that needs to start just so it initiates something else. Because sometimes people don't
Right.
make change until they're actually toes are in the fire. What's up,
exactly.
prepping artist? How are y'all doing?
You
Did
got
y'all
that.
suffer any tornadoes, by the way, up there? Prepping artist? Did y'all suffer any of that? They're kind of up in the tree area. Not as far north as you are, Bonnie, but
I'm not
They
north.
got hit out on the west coast up
well, you are
there in
for me.
Oregon and Washington too. I mean, Gma Merkel got her little magic place messed up from the winds and stuff. I guess there's been
Oh,
a
well, she's
couple
in
places.
Washington. Yeah, I think she's up in Washington.
No, we were good. Yeah, I haven't talked to Chuck yet to see how they did. They've all been sick. Vicky's been in the hospital. It's been a really hard time over there for them.
I'll tell you, I think it was on Indies that I mentioned it, but it's an interview that Tucker does. And man, that guy sheds a lot of light on that whole COVID stuff. And you
Yep.
know, we've been talking to all the people with the vaccine, they're going to have all these things, but he actually points out that no, if you got COVID, it's, yeah, there's effects that come from the vax part, but there's also a lot of things that are coming about from people just getting COVID. It's like people sneezing that used to not sneeze. Now they sneeze. They got allergies that they didn't have before. And
Yes.
it has nothing to do with the vax. It's just the COVID. And
I read about 20 years ago. I read that you can be allergy free all through your youth, whatever, and then you can pick up an allergy at any given time throughout your life.
I
well, I
can
think
tell.
the way this one is it affected people's immune system. And with the COVID, with the mRNA in
Yep.
it, that
It,
that was the problem. It wasn't just the flu. It was the flu that already had alternating shit in it, so it could affect everybody a little different.
They
yes.
weaponized it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I can testify to the allergy part because it seems like each year it's more and more things, and it's like, okay, so am I going to starve to death because I can't eat nothing? As long as I can eat beef, I'm okay.
Oh, I know. Well, that's, man. When first started having all this, they're like, "Oh, well, you got that diverticulitis," and it's like, really, where?
Mm.
How the hell do you know? Oh, well, you can't eat red meat. I'm like, what? Yeah, people don't like to hear that. No, I'd like to know, how does that happen overnight?
But I don't understand how the red meat would affect that because it's usually like strawberries, anything with seeds, pinto beans, the shell of the bean. It's things that can get hung up in there that cause the
Oh
diverticulitis.
yeah, no, yeah. Once you have the polyps inside with that diverticulitis, it's the polyps it makes. And yeah, I had that all thing. You can't do like corn because of the skin,
Yes,
seeds because the husk doesn't dissolve, and it'll wedge and cause an infection because you won't digest it, and it'll get wedged, and you can end up with bleeding inside. And I've done that before.
dang it.
That was a fit I never thought I'd ever have. Got to
Well,
say, it
none
was
of
a
that
rather
sounds like
embarrassing
fun
moment
at
at one
all.
point. I'm literally in the doctor's office with my drawers down around my ankles, looking at him, going, "My wife used to do things like this. I don't."
Right.
And yeah,
And
it was a pretty gnarly.
yep. Well, we never know what's coming at us.
Oh, and lettuce. I didn't know that too, but lettuce is like celery. It's considered a stringy vegetable, and
Yes.
so the way that it's made up is stringy. So if you do it, it can actually wrap around one of the polyps and cause an infection. So you can't have lettuce. I'm
Yep.
like,
All my life, people told me that salads were good for you. Eat your salad; it's good for you. It's health. I see more people getting sick off of salads nowadays than anything else.
well, yeah, but it's not the salad. If they would grow that food, it would probably be better for them. But the fact that
Yes.
they're going it because it says, look, that's greens and it's in HEB, it's in Kroger, it's got to be good, it's in a store. No,
Yep.
the shit was shipped 1,000 miles across the ocean and it still looks green. Doesn't that make you go, how come if I grow that in my yard and put it on my counter, it doesn't stay that fresh for a month?
Because they
Did you see the jackass they caught in New York spraying poison on all the produce, and they had to take $1 million worth of stuff out of there?
Yep.
That happened here in Michigan years ago. I remember somebody was caught peeing all over the produce in a store here in Michigan.
Dude, what, don't you remember when that started? That became a trending thing because some little rapping bullshit chick who has a tits and ass, and she made a music video, so she became popular. But she walked around in damn, what was that, donut shops or something, sticking her finger in the donuts on TikTok or some shit, and it became a fad. Kind of like when the kids used to go in the stores and throw the milk jugs up in the air and act like they slipped, and no, you really just wanted splattered all over
Yep.
people. This is where I'm with you, Bunny, that there's good people out there. Unfortunately, I think there's a good generation that doesn't give a shit, and that's going to be the problem.
Well, any of my kids do anything like that, they will be hammered. Not literally, but they're they're gonna be.
Figuratively speaking.
And you know what though, that would not even cross their mind because they get so upset whenever people do that. So I think it's once they experience it themselves, maybe that's the lesson. It just like all of us, we've had a lot of lessons in our lives.
No, it's just lack of accountability. There's no repercussions. There's no price to pay. That's been taken off the board. Almost every turn, they keep taking that away. And so then that just makes that problem escalate 10 times more. So you just go across the board. Child abuse escalates more. Why? Because they don't punish it like they should. Trafficking, it enhanced. Why? Because they don't punish it like they did. Shoplifting, it enhanced. Why? Because they don't punish it like they do. Home burglaries, enhanced. Why? Because they don't punish. There's no repercussions. There's no fear of punishment. And
Absolutely.
there, you, what keeps a person from walking up and knocking the piss out of you is they fear the repercussions. That's an unknown, and they're not sure. And
Yes,
so then that puts them in check. Well, this is humans showing you that they know that the system doesn't give a shit. So they'll go out here and they get stupid. There's areas that don't allow it, and then there's areas that do.
that's
More of
true.
the government funded areas are the ones that allow it because it gives them an excuse then to pass something else to take away more shit.
Yeah. I feel bad for anybody who's living in a big city. I'm I'm so happy with my community. We have movie night tonight on the courthouse lawn, showing Home Alone.
There you go.
I'll be there with my chair.
I wonder hey, you'll have to notice if it's the one that they've edited Trump out of or if they're going back to the original.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Trump was in that.
Yeah.
I
He,
think I
he talks to him in the middle of the
barely
what he
remember that.
runs in and talks to him right down there, and he's standing there. Trump's standing right there, talks with him, points to him. So it's not even like a brief moment. It's
I
he
think it,
interacts with him.
I think that was in
It's
two
vaguely
when he was
familiar. I'm gonna have to go watch that.
when he was lost in New York. I think that
Yeah,
was two, wasn't it?
it might have been too.
Well, how dare that orange man be in a movie like that?
I know.
They popped
How
him.
how dare him try to help people and do nice things before he ran for politics? Because gosh, now we have to make everybody forget all that shit.
24
That's
days.
out. Yeah, lots can happen in 24 days.
Yeah, Tiger.
Actually, I think is it 24? I think it might be 23. I just lost count. Wow.
You were
I
saying
will say
24 and 25 yesterday.
I don't even really worry about it, to be honest. I mean, because I've managed to put that into the category. I mean, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So nothing I do or say or anything for every day till then isn't going to change it. It's not like I'm not involved. So
I would
I'm
I would
only
agree, but I'm doing a lot
I'm
of
here for the
praying
after
and
effect.
I
I'm here for
agree,
the after
except for
show.
that I am praying for him. I am. I'm praying for all of us like that because I think that they want
Oh,
him.
I don't want
They
anything bad to happen. I mean, I definitely would like things to go smooth, but I know I can't change it either way it goes. And so it's like,
How do you know you didn't? I mean, number one, you speak up, you speak your mind on here. You're not you're involved more. All of us are a little more involved than I think you realize. But you may have
but
changed
you're
some
not right
minds
now
over the
though.
years.
See, you're not right
No,
now though, Carl. We
right? I
were,
know.
and that's we made our voice heard. Now we're going to wait and see because now it's up in there. That's how they're going to fix and to handle all this and what's fixing to happen. What's going to happen internationally?
Well, I
Gee,
mean,
we've
I just
sent
said that
missiles
on
over there to
Bonnie.
Ukraine.
I just said that on Bonnie's there, and I'm not paying attention to no drones or no, lawfare to keep them out of the office, all that, because I can't do anything about it, and I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to say prayers and hope that everything goes right, because I think I see a reckoning coming nobody's believing me. I mean, I've gotten a lot of resistance speaking about this, but I've seen things line up. I see things happening where we might actually, I expect accountability. All right. And I'll be the first
Yep.
one to bitch about it if they don't see it. But I think we're going to start seeing that. And that's going to unite us even more, man, because we're going to get confirmation of what some of our thoughts were, and it's,
Well,
you
I
know,
hope people realize that it's just a marble that's starting to roll. So it's not going to be a big old boulder right out the gate. It's going to be a little marble, and everybody's going to have to continue to keep pushing
Yeah.
for that
I
to pick up
realize,
speed and get bigger and become the boulder. Because there's a lot of stuff we all want accountability on, but we're not going to get it all. I'll just say that up front. We're
well,
not fixing to get it all, but if we can get some, then that starts the ball going in the right direction.
Yes.
I
Because
even
right
think
now we got none.
right now,
Unity.
I feel like a good possibility of a sudden sign because you got Cash Patel, you got all these things going on. I think, I mean, personally, I hope for that one day dictator because I've had it. All right. I want that. I want him to come in there swinging. That's my, personal preference. And I might be a dick for wanting this, but man, I need to see it.
Well,
If he
that's what
goes in there and starts
they
kicking
took
ass,
that. They took that statement out of context when he said the dictator. That's actually what he meant because there's people up there that it's not very clear if he can fire them, but his philosophy was he's going to fire them any fucking way, and then we'll figure it out afterwards. And that's what he meant by a dictator by a day because he's going to go in there and fire people that he's not. I'm not sure if I can, but I'm going to right now. And if I can't later on, then somebody will figure that out. But right now, you're gone. And I like that.
And it's going to take unity of the people behind him for it
Good
to
luck with that one.
any of
Good
it.
luck with that one. That's going to take everybody's
we've already seen it.
suffrage and what they're willing to tolerate is all different, and that's what's got us to where we are.
Yes.
And that's
There's
it too, man. Is that we saw it already? He got into office, and they fought him with lawfare in every possible way. The media was against him. Everybody
well, he's a
evil was
threat to
against
them.
him. Yes.
Yeah.
So we've already know that the swamp's way deeper than he thought. He said it himself. He
But see,
also has said that he had people that
anybody
well,
that's
he
been
also
involved in any criminal life can see that for what it is. It's if you let somebody in and now they saw the inner workings, but all of a sudden you're starting to see that, but wait a minute, they're not one of us. So they're really not. You've got to figure out what you're fixing to do. So you're either going to eliminate the problem because you don't know that person's not joining in. Well, with his case, that's what they did whenever they tried to do the slandering. And when that really wasn't getting the response they expected, then they just started throwing everything they could, even made shit up just to get it out there.
I want
And
to
that's
know
because
why
he's a threat.
I want to know why Pence was handed a challenge coin. All right.
Oh,
This is
because he went along with that ball of that show that was put on. He went on, see, because and I said that it's just like you could see that coming a mile away. Why? Because the moment the election happened in November, every damn Republican almost was getting on TV screens somewhere saying, in January, we're going to send those electors back. They're not going to get away with this. We're sending those electors back. And that's all they said. November, December, and then here comes January. And it's like the minute Cruz stands up, because they've always contested the electors, every election that has them. For the first time, a senator stood up with a representative. And the minute Cruz stood up, that's when, if you go look and time the timing of the video, you'll see that's about right in the time frame of Ray Epps reaches up and whispers in that dude's ear that goes up to that gate and starts rattling that gate. Next thing you know, they storm that. It's also the same time that up there on that upper balcony that they've decided that they're just going to go ahead and start firing rounds down into the crowd. So the crowd, that group that was down there praying, they shot that round down there. They fired off the riot because they were fixing to get contested on those electors. They
and
saw this shit, dude. That's a group of criminals.
I saw all that. When that went down, I had a couple monitors. I had multiple tabs. I was jumping from live to live. I watched the whole J6 debacle happen live time, and then I saw 100 videos after, and everything I saw there pointed to a setup. So I went everywhere. Department of Defense, all the military channels. I made that comment all over the internet. And what's funny, Rescue, is after doing that on one of those, I got a notice 2 years later that somebody commented on a post I put on there. And I go back to that post that I've never got a notice on, and it had hundreds of likes and hundreds of responses to my one comment because I was like the only one and the first one on that post. And I couldn't believe how they're hiding it. All right. I know for a fact they've been
Well,
hiding
hell,
us.
look at all the footage that just came out. And I mean, it was main front news, the fight to get the footage out. And the minute the footage comes out, the story just gets squashed away. Why? Because it shows them going in that room and changing out of those clothes and putting on MAGA clothes and coming on, and they're inside the Capitol. And then they come up to the doors and then they open the doors. The footage shows the dude look up at the security camera going, and then all of a sudden the door pops and he opens the doors for them and all that. Because see, there's cameras everywhere. That's Washington. There's camera footage everywhere. That's why, like right now, they're still wanting to know who planted those bombs, and they're getting closer to figuring it out. And they're just, it's coming.
Before all that rescue, I saw 2 buses escorted in by unmarked police cars of some sort, black ones. And all the people that got
well, there was some Antifas. There was Antifas that got unloaded and changed clothes underneath a tree.
Yeah. Yes, they went right from the bus and they got out and started putting on patriotic clothing.
Yeah. That was why that was all orchestrated. That's why they've dodged the question how many informants you had there. But see, I never expected anything because, like I've tried to tell everybody, nothing's going to happen until that Department of Justice changes hands, because that's the head of our legal system. So if they're not wanting to do anything, they're not going to. So nothing's going to happen until that changes hands. When that changes hands, then it's a different ballgame, and that's. But yeah, that was a setup from the get-go. Hell, there was a dude down out of Houston, Angry Viking. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I wouldn't go. Well, we need to go, because he had gone to St. Louis and all these other little marches. And I'm like, dude, that's a setup.
Well, I know you weren't probably there, but the nights, several days before that happened, before J6, I was over at Prepping 101s. There was a lot of people there. And the general consensus was, it's a trap. Don't go. We were all saying it. We were all telling everybody, don't. And it was like everybody agreed. It's weird for me to see that many people at a podcast that knew this was going to be a setup, because we'd already seen all the shadiness. We'd already knew that this was an opportunity laid out for them. All right. And never underestimate the government's ability to use an event to their advantage. We all know that. And that's what I felt right away. And a lot of people did too. So it's like, I would have never gone there because I smelled a rat. All right. You know.
Oh, wow. Ross said he was there when he stopped the Antifa dressed in the mega stuff bashing the windows. I remember seeing that. And that dude started bashing on that, and people reached up and grabbed him and pulled him back down.
Huh. I saw.
Damn, Ross, I didn't know you was there. Well, I'm glad you're still here with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Ross. Ross is good people. I saw all kinds of weird video. I saw where it looked like they were handing clubs or flagpoles or sticks out of the Capitol building to the people in the crowd after some of the windows were broke out or open.
Dude, that was a programmed thing. That's why they let the whole BLM Antifa riots take place, was to help. That put the mindset. If you don't like something, get out there and scream and chant and do this. You know, you might not be into throwing Molotov cocktails, but that's okay. You can show up in mass. And that's why that was a setup, dude. They literally trained everybody to react this way. And then when that went south, they said, there we go. They're going to show up. That's what they're going to do. We showed them that for a year. And sure enough, they showed up and they said, aha. And they still say insurrection. And nobody ever wants to correct them on that word. And it's like, it's pretty clear on insurrection. And nothing about that resembles insurrection. So,
but you know what that showed me? That showed me, okay, like Carl said, so many people knew it was a trap. So there was a whole bunch of people that didn't show, but look how many did.
Well, that's because, Bonnie, see, we go, oh, there's a lot of people that knew, but when you really think about it, it's not a lot of people. It's like right here, I could have 5,000 people in this chat and we could all be going, it was a setup, and everybody, all 5,000 people in chat are going, yeah. But there's 330 million people in this country. So what does 5,000 people really matter? You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. I agree. There's one thing I want to have an answer to, all right? Because I thought, I actually have mentioned this a couple times in the last month or so, and other people in chat say they saw it too. All right. But you saw the way the Ashley Babbitt thing went down and all the close quarters filming, and you know, there's a lot of video of that. But there was also a brief little snippet I caught live where they were carrying Ashley Babbitt out on a stretcher. Her shirt was ripped, her breasts were out, and she was alive and she was moving, and they were treating her. And they totally, I mean, either that was fake footage, well done, all right.
Are you sure that wasn't that other chick? What is her name? Rosa Borland or something?
No, I am sure it wasn't her.
Because Ashley Babbitt died. I mean, she died right there, and that was Jaden Nix, the Antifa member, is the dude who filmed that. Actually, his was the first footage that came out. That was Jaden Nix is his name, and he's an Antifa little fucker. Yeah, he was actually footage of him during Antifa BLM riots when they were torching Washington all on fire. He was on the hood of a car wanting to drag Trump out of the White House.
And
correct. All correct. That's why I'm bringing this up, is because they said that she passed away. If you have seen some of the videos I've seen, it looks like the guy that was first to Ashley's side after she was shot, it's very possible he put the blood on her. All right. If you watch that footage and some of the stuff people have blown up and watch, and the way those
she got shot, Carl. She got shot.
I realize that may be it, but it may not have been the total story, because really there was some fishy stuff going on, and people have analyzed that video, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. And the only thing I'm saying about this is, yes, that's the official narrative. Then what was he doing alive on a gurney going out of the building?
And did you see what Ross said? He said there wasn't a cop anywhere that day.
Oh, well, no, there's actually footage for now that they've released the inside footage. There's even a dude that goes up to a cop going, "What are you doing? How come why are you letting this happen? What are you doing?" And they're just standing there. And then they got the other ones now on film going, "Man, what kind of bullshit is this? We're just thrown out here. This is a setup." And it's like, yep.
They protected.
But I mean, the Ashley Babbitt thing.
They protected the guy that shot her until sleuths figured it out, and then they released his name and some of the information. All right, he
had already been written up for leaving his damn loaded firearm on a damn toilet back earlier. So he's not. It was not a. And the way you can tell the way he shot her. She got shot. I don't know. That's there's nothing about. Yeah, that was. She got shot. And if you watch congressional hearings, you'll see her family sitting in that audience every day.
Right.
Remember Ashley Babbitt shirts on.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I said I saw an inconsistency. That's the problem.
Oh, well, there's going to be, I think part of our problem, I say ours, part of the problem is it's not one side, because it's not just like good or bad per se. It's, Republican, Democrat. It's on that whole liberal side. You can say Democrat, you can say Antifa, you can say BLM, you can say freeloaders, you can say thieves, dopeheads, bum. Everybody fits in that side. So this is like now with the new AI watch, there'll be new footage that comes out and it'll show some really radical, crazy shit because AI can make it.
Now that I've said all this, I better try to explain something. When I say I saw an inconsistency, that didn't convince me that Ashley was dead or not. All right. There could even be a possibility that somebody faked that video I saw. I don't know why they would fake a video where it shows her alive on a stretcher coming out. I don't know how they could benefit from that, but I don't put it past somebody, one of the agencies doing some part of a psyop or something like that to make
Because
us look like fools.
if you question what went down, then you can be
Yeah,
thrown into, oh, see, you're one of those Republicans. You're trying to say that
yeah,
this was a setup by Pelosi, and then, but look, they faked this video right here trying to say she got shot. So I could totally see it.
Just like
yeah. You know, that's I'm saying that's both are that's a possibility. So I'm saying that I saw it. I know it happened. So what the fuck was it? That's the thing is like all these lies and all this fake shit that we've been fed for years now. If the coin flips and we start seeing accountability, those people are just as guilty as anybody else. The way I see this is if some lunatic tried to kill Trump on his own, well, it was the media's hate, the celebrity hate, all this stuff that pushed these people to this point. All right.
You can
There's,
see the difference in those two right there, Carl. You want to see the difference between a government allowed assassination versus just a random person? You can look at Pennsylvania versus Florida. Dude from Pennsylvania still don't know shit about him. They still won't even release anything about him. The one in Florida, oh no, homeboy got 6 cell phones. We're trying to get into him. He traveled over here. He spent money over here. His son did this. We've arrested his son now for this. Wait, how is it so this random dude you bust on the Florida golf course, all of a sudden you're willing to disclose all this, but the dude over here in Butler, Pennsylvania, you don't even want to acknowledge hardly. I wonder which one had government backing.
yeah.
I'm just saying, hypothetical
mm-hmm.
Minecraft.
Well, the people used to complain about taxation without representation. Funny thing is now is our own taxation has turned into weaponization against us. They're using our own fucking tax money to fuck us. Let that sink in and tell me I'm wrong.
And you're right, oops, we have.
And then
Only it wasn't Doom Buggy, it was a lunar rover.
Turning Gun said the greatest show on earth is the truth. Look at Ann Hetch. Whenever that happened, she was sitting up on the stretcher too. And whenever George Floyd happened, they said he was not dead when he was put in that wagon. And that wagon, that wasn't an EMS vehicle or anything like that. That whole thing was just weird. And
it's weird because there's 2 incidents. I think what they've done with that one, Bonnie, is they actually had another confrontation with him, kept the video files private, and used partial video files from another incident. And now they're saying he died of a drug overdose. But there was this video I saw of him before they took him to the car. He's sitting up against the building, and it looks like he got rid of some drugs while he was up against the wall. Again, these could all be fake videos, but the fact that those fake videos, or if they're real videos, that's inconsistencies in the story. That's what any detective would zone in on, man. You lie to a cop finds an inconsistency in your story, you're going to be interrogated until they find out what it is.
No, you're not. Not when that police force and that administration above them is wanting to paint a narrative. You're not going to hear all this rational thinking that you're bringing up. That's why it looks strange. It looks strange because it's a real action that's happening, but the way it's being handled is to paint a narrative. And that's what is the strangeness about it, is it because you're being sold a narrative.
And that was the event that started the whole.
Because George Floyd overdosed. And it was obvious, and they suppressed the autopsy report from coming out during the court. They've never allowed it to be talked about. Nobody ever wants to bring it up, but it's there. You can actually, I think it's Steven Crowder brought it up and actually did a little show, and of course YouTube silenced him. But
I remember God had something to say about it. Do you remember the mural painted on the brick wall the lightning hit and destroyed?
Oh yeah. Well, dude, he had been, I forgot the time frame, if it was like a year or something before, almost the same type of scenario had started to go down again. Only that time they got it pumped out of his stomach before he OD'd because he swallowed the shit. Same kind of scenario. And they've got body cam footage from that. See, that's the one thing too you know what? If it really, you wonder, you can always look at the body cam footage, not the YouTube video that somebody cut together. Go look at the body cam footage. You can see it. Just like you can see, yeah, his knee's not on his neck, and he was breathing, and he didn't die from that. He overdosed, and then when you look at the autopsy report, you see, oh wow, you meth and fentanyl. Yeah, you were pretty wound up. And then you see his history going, oh wait, you mean you've got history of this? Oh, but see, that was the catalyst they needed, just kind of like the whole hands up, don't shoot. If you actually look at the details of that case, that little prick didn't have his hands up to begin with. When he got shot, he was trying to take the cop's gun when his ass got shot. But they created a narrative that this is what you'll remember. You'll remember hands up, don't shoot. When it's like that didn't make sense. Just like George Floyd, he was choked to death with a knee on it. No, he wasn't. He overdosed, just like he had damn near done the year before, but it stopped. It just.
I'm just glad to know people like you that think like this, Rescue, because man, I've gotten a lot of resistance just for my thought, you know.
Well, you got to be real careful too, because to me, you can hear what you want to hear. So it's kind of like I used to talk about this with some people I knew in marital problems. It's like if you have marital problems and you're going to this friend, and every time you're bitching about your old lady, your friend, he's telling you what a piece of shit she is. That's not your friend. And all he's going to do is wind you up more. And that's why your marriage is going to continue to not work. If, however, you are talking to a friend and that friend is just listening to you go off, and then when he says anything, he goes, it'll be all right, man. It'll be all right. That's the friend that's letting you vent, and your marriage can recover from that. Well, if you look at society and you're saying, well, shit, man, my taxes are high. Well, then, okay, anybody that mentions taxes is going to gravitate the negative that you have towards that. So nothing that anybody were to say to the positive is going to make any sense. If you don't like politicians because you've seen something shady, that's where I really try to remind people that not every place is what you see. This country is so diverse and divided in different ways of life. And we used to all have the common goal to be self-sufficient, and we were all responsible for ourselves and our success. We've let controlling people convince people that, no, you need to rely on somebody.
Yeah.
All I want from the government is my border safe to be protected from other countries.
That's it. And they need to be reminded. But see, that's why I say it's not all politicians, because, I own up to my role. Hell, I was raising my kids, and all I did pay attention was going to work, paying bills, and raising my kids. I never thought outside that box. Now I do, but then I look at my time and I don't have to deal with my kids. They're grown. I have grandkids. And so now I got time to sit here. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have the time to sit here and even have the conversation I have with you guys, much less dig in and see what this, and this. That's why it's so easy to be misled.
Exactly.
Because there are people that are intentionally causing distractions, as you could put it.
Yep.
And it's just to get your because if you can flood somebody with enough negative shit, well, you won't say, oh, I just give up. But in a way you do, if all you do is spend the next 10 to 12 hours every day trying to find more negative shit that group A, B, or C has done, then really they've won, because you're the one that's now lost out on 10 or 12 hours of day-to-day life that you could have spent with a friend, a family member, out in the yard, enjoying animals, whatever. So if you think of things in that terms, I can see it.
For all of history, humans were controlled by fear. All right. For instance, I don't know how many times I've seen like YouTube videos and news stories. World War III is here. All right. Pictures of mushroom clouds. I've seen hundreds of them in the last several years, where I know that some creators don't even realize they're hopping on the wagon. All right. They're doing it out of concern or fear for their family or any of this, but it still is generating this darkness. All right. Whereas everybody's worried about surviving a Holocaust. The apocalypse is here. You know, we've heard this for so long. This is the longest fucking apocalypse ever, and I've lived through a few. All right, and
The end is nigh. Been my whole life. Dude, some dude's been standing on a street corner somewhere saying the end is nigh.
Yes.
right, I don't even see that dude anymore. I think I'm going to be that guy wearing the double signed, you know, one sign on the front and sign on the back.
Well,
That's
no,
going to be me.
we're high tech now, Carl. You ain't got to stand on a street corner. You just sit in the air conditioned living room and you post thumbnails that the end is nigh.
I'm old school, but I'll put Christmas lights in the letters or something. I'll make it somehow fancy.
The Jehovah's Witnesses, every time they would leave a pamphlet, it's the end of the world. You have to come to Jesus. And yes, but it's not the end of the world. They've been, I can remember that back a long time ago. I'm not gonna
I'm going
say.
to go total nerd because it fits. All right, 1977 Star Wars film. Governor Tarkin says, fear. Fear will keep the local systems in order. Fear of this battle station. All right. And okay, so the nerds jump on this, and there is even Wikipedia pages, and there's a whole theory behind this now. It's called the Tarkin Doctrine. All right. And ever since they've used that in that movie, they've used it in all of the following. All right. But it's actually pulled from history. George Lucas was a master of using our history into science fiction. And he clearly could see that our species has been controlled by fear for millennia, you know? And that's what they're doing, man. They've been doing this a lot more lately. They do it more now than they used to.
Because they saw
Yeah.
how well it worked with COVID.
I don't even. That's fear. That's humans. I mean, and this we don't. And I'm not preaching to nobody, but just because it goes in with where I'm at. But if you don't have faith in your creation and your creator, and that regardless of this man-made world down here doesn't matter, then you're always really afraid of something. Even
Yes.
people that don't want to admit it, you're afraid of something. You're afraid, if you don't pay the light bill, the lights are going to get cut off. If you don't have the damn package of diapers when that one gets last one's wore out, then so
All
there's a
right,
fear
is
of
there,
every different variables. But
Yes.
I think
okay, but
unless you
got a
come peace
question
with
about
your
that.
life, that regardless
Wait,
of
I got
what
a
you have or
question.
don't have, go
Is
ahead.
it is there a difference between concern and fear?
Oh, well, yeah, because you can be concerned about things, but to be afraid of something, that's going to be a direct result to you or directly to you, your family, direct member or whatever. That's to me, that's the way I view it. I can be concerned about my neighbor
Yeah.
on, like I'm concerned my neighbors are, got gas for their generator. If we lose electricity, I can be concerned about that. I'm going to be afraid that I don't have enough. So to me, there's the way I can explain the difference. I'm concerned that you have enough food. I'm concerned. I'm
I,
afraid that I don't. So
right. I think concern is whenever you're watching it and
you're aware.
right. But fear is when it actually puts you into action or makes you freeze. It's
I
Well,
when
see a little more to it. I mean, for me, fear is a tool. All right, and this would, I guess, I would kind of explain it like with animals. You know, if you ever seen a wild rabbit in a field, he keeps his eye on the sky, the ground, and all around. Right? He's very easy to scare. They're skittish.
Travis.
You know,
Oh,
and
no,
if
what's the thing?
it's when they let their guard down that they die, and they, to me, fear is a weird thing with me because I really don't fear much in this world. All right, it's not as like a afraid. Oh my God, I'm gonna die panic situation. You know, if a rattlesnake comes up on me, I'm not gonna flinch. I'm not gonna show fear. I'm gonna kill it. All right, I know to respect that, and I would fear the outcome if it bit me. All right, so it's like I guess it's the way that you handle fear. All right. It's I I used to, just for fun, take people into abandoned, places, cemeteries or buildings, whatever it was. And I could see even the toughest dude crumble with fear of the unknown. All right. And it's like people that are scared of the dark. There's a lot of adults that are scared of the dark. It's something I don't understand. All right. Because I enjoy the dark. I enjoy not being seen. I enjoy, if I hear a noise, I go find out what it is. Most people will
Some
go, "Oh my
actions.
God, what's that?" And it's like, it's the way you react to it, I think, is the difference.
I'm not
Well, I
scared of
think
the
it's
dark. I leave a light on so I can see to get to the restroom without
I think it's
breaking.
in
Oh,
the
I'm
way
not
you
picking on
categorize.
anybody. I'm not picking on nobody, Bonnie. What I'm saying is, there's some people that
I think
aren't.
everybody's
You
afraid
know?
of there's things that people are afraid of that they don't even I don't think they acknowledge that they're afraid. They label it as something else, but it's a fear. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're not at peace with just then there's a fear of some sort. Rather it's
I guess
like I said,
I
not
would have to
paying a
say
bill, a fear that the
I
car
have
might
a
not be
fear of
running right
being
next
miserable.
week, or
Okay,
it's
that's.
we pollute
I
it
guess
down.
I guess I'm just going to round it out. I have a fear of being miserable. I guess that would be my fear.
Well, that's definitely something to be afraid of because misery sucks
Yes.
and it loves company.
Yes.
Grumpy says fear is an emotion like all other emotions. It can be mastered. Courage is not lack of fear; it is being able to take action in the face of it. Right? Because see, that's you're always afraid. It's like people that say that they're not afraid, and I'm not. I'm not. I'm just going to say I believe. I believe most people when they say, "Oh, I'm not afraid of anything," well, you really are. It's just that you're not labeling those things as a fear per se. It's a worry, or it's just a concern, or it's you know, oh no, I just pay a little more. But there's a fear that's just we've because
Well,
you're either
the
at
one that
peace
got me,
or you're
the
afraid of
one.
something. I mean, you just that's a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
Well, that's
There's
the
not room
thing.
for both.
There's a phrase, or I don't know if it's actually a verse, but I hear people say he's a God fearing man, or
Well, that's somebody that's afraid of God and the punishment of God. That's the way it used to be anyway. Now I think
well,
it's just a
that's like.
phrase.
And it was confusing to me because I believe in God. I have a lot of faith, but I'm not afraid. All right, I look forward to that. All right, it's not a fear, and that made me question: does that make me a bad person because I don't fear the wrath of God? I had to analyze that because the fact is I've done nothing to get His wrath. I don't feel I've done anything. I've repented from those things. All right, so as long as I stay on course, I have no reason to receive the wrath. So why should I fear it? That made me question that shit.
See, I fear it because I respect it. It's kind of like it's like electricity. I fear electricity. I work with it. I respect it, but I fear it because I know what it's capable of.
It's
And
like your
so,
own father when you know you've done something wrong.
yeah.
You're gonna be afraid. I'm gonna get in trouble. What's the trouble gonna be?
Well, actually, you know what, Bonnie? To go with that, there's actually kids have different levels because
Mm-hmm.
some kids you will have a dad's face will just change look with the sad or disappointment, and that
Yeah.
right there can have it's like, oh man, I'm afraid I don't ever want to have that look on my dad's face. And then there's a
Yes.
kid that waits until their dad's screaming and then says, oh well, I'm afraid of my dad if he screams, so I don't want him to scream. So, but that's why I think we want to shadow that word fear, and we try to mimic it with other stuff so it doesn't sound so like, oh, you're a coward, you're scared of something, ooh. And it's
Yeah.
still that I think kind of thinking because I think it's a fear of everything. I mean, it's like you treat every pew pew that it's loaded. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because your fear of the what can happen if you don't.
Exactly.
So
It
there's
can
a
go
fear.
wrong.
Does that mean it makes you a weaker person? No, no, no. Makes you aware. You're respecting that fear because you understand what can happen.
It's
Well,
respect
I've heard it
and
said
being
that
smart.
only a fool wouldn't fear the battlefield. Like whereas if somebody goes into war, everybody around them's dying, and they would be a fool not to be scared. you
Oh,
know.
that's Grumpy
And
said it right there. People with no fear are either lies or psycho. It's like,
There you
right,
go.
right. I mean, I guess maybe I'm a little psycho, all right, because I would. There's a point in my life to where I will just wade right in. If I feel like I'm threatened already, there is a no-win situation, I'm just going to wade right into it. And I've been like that since I was a kid. You know, more than one people say they're going to kick my ass. I'm going for the big guy first, and I'll be there before they get to me. All right. And I've been in that situation a whole lot. So I don't know if it's like you can direct your fear better or you just realize that fear isn't going to help, because that's the thing I see is that fear usually makes it worse. Like I said, I've taken people in for little tours of abandoned buildings and stuff. They panic. That panic is a bad thing. I mean, it's like that's when they get hurt. All right, they'll walk into a wall or something stupid because they're so scared. You know, if you can, like I heard Grumpy say something too, is that some people can master that. Maybe that's what it's all about. Is just like with all this fear mongering that they're doing,
well,
the
that's what a
doom and gloom.
firefighter does, Carl. A
Yeah.
firefighter goes in that burning place, not be lack of fear. It's you fear the fire, but you respect it. And so then it has a category. That's what I mean. That there's always fear. It's just that it's like it's only some things are being labeled fearful or feared, but it's I know plenty of people that have done their
You
job
know what?
scared
This is.
shitless, but there's this is they're the
I
kind that
don't
can
know if
push
you.
through the fear. They use it for them.
I don't know if
Funny.
I ever told you this before, but this has happened twice in my life where the people don't even know them each other. They're firefighters, and they're just talking. They're like, you know, if you were going to be a firefighter, would you risk your life to save others? And
They're
most people are like, yeah, you know. Well, then we don't want you. That's their replies. We don't want you. We don't want you to risk your life to save somebody else. We don't can't afford to train another person to replace you or whatever. We're investing in you. That your safety is paramount. If you can rescue somebody and be safe about it, they want you to do that. But they
That's
don't want you to
why
risk your
training.
life to do it.
That's why they
yeah.
have the trainings.
Yeah, I
You
mean, I guess I can see where they're going with that, but I mean, it's just it's a word thing because I mean,
right.
you show up on a scene and that thing's 640 degrees. Trust me, you, you're putting yourself at risk. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And when they can get the children and people out, that they're the heroes. That's flat out.
Well, and it's like people get mad because the whole house doesn't get saved. And man, you know what? You just try to save whatever you
Yes.
can. If it's
Yes.
one board, then that's all that's left, and that's what's left. But I can tell you from standing in that position, the only thing in your mind is to try to save anything you possibly can, as
Yes.
much as you can. Once the people are accounted for and pets are accounted for, you're just trying to save as much structure because you have to write off the fact that people's belongings in there. Like nobody gives a fuck about the eave boards.
No.
Nobody cares about the facial up on the above the windows. Man, that window trim was the bestest ever. No, it's those contents inside that they know are burning, and you know that you can't save that paper, but maybe you can save some of the structure left. And but you always face the fear. I mean, hell, dude, to be honest, I get scared every time I come out that door because I keep worrying about the day that all of a sudden I do something a little too much, and that's that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't
Oh,
stop
I'm
me
a
from
little
doing it.
afraid, but
Doesn't
that's
mean
why we haven't seen you. I thought because the last I saw you were working again. You were outside. I think you were using a post hole digger, and that was the last thing I seen you do. And I ain't seen you in a while. And I was hoping you didn't hurt yourself again.
oh, I have my bad days. I do dips because I've done drove in some T posts. I'm getting the chicken stationary and a pen built for them over there. So I've been working on that until the rain started,
Cool.
and then now I can't get over there because of the rain. But then I got a black stone griddle now. So I'm hoping, and I'm gonna say it out loud. Probably shouldn't because it's just one more thing I say out loud, and then if I don't follow through, it just makes me feel like a turd. But
You're
I'm
not.
hoping that then I can use this out here on the porch, and in the mornings I can do a little morning coffee, cook a couple of eggs, and we go through the news and some music. That's what I'm hoping for. Is kind of have music news. Start off with a little fried eggs,
Sounds
Makes
some
me
coffee.
want to go to Route 66 all the way down first.
What's up, Craig?
I'm gonna, and that's why I was doing the traveling also, because being homebound for so long, so they told me I had agoraphobia, and it puts you in a circle, and it can start with just your home, and then once you start branching out, it's and that's fighting through the fear, and that's once I crossed that Louisiana line. Because getting out of the state of Texas, that was major for me. And but that's where I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Took
It's
two
kind of
trips.
hard to leave your own country, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know why I'm proud of you, but I was a little proud of you over that. I mean, it's not like I'm your older brother or somebody that think I should be able to, be proud of you or anything, but I knew, so that's why I said something. Good for you, Bonnie.
Hey, Share Bear.
I was I was pretty proud of it too. And it could have gone more, I think. But Shreveport's kind of scary. I don't care who
Oh, holy shit! Yeah, you went to Shreveport. Oh my God! If you were going to leave the country, you didn't have to go to Bosnia first. I mean, should have gone to a more
Yeah.
scenic route. You went to Shreveport.
Huckleberry kept warning me, and I was like, "Oh, it can't be that bad." Yeah, it is.
Where is Huckleberry? I ain't seen him this morning. Shithead. I see how he is.
He's probably sleeping because he did a mashup last night.
I know. I was listening, and it's amazing. How is it that I could sit there and listen to it, and then I show up and start a live, but he does it. He hosts one, but then oh no, he's too tired to actually show up and just listen to mine. I see how it is.
You probably unsubscribed your channel because you weren't doing anything anymore.
Probably did.
And
A
rescue
Scat
them.
Pack, I guess Scat Pack, she done got used to me not coming on, I guess, because yeah, I didn't see Scat Pack this morning either.
I'll be going live till because everybody wants to talk till 3, 4 sometimes. It's and I'm thinking rescue's fixing to come on, and I'm gonna miss it because I am crashing. And it's not, so I have to go back and watch later. But
Oh, I know, Bonnie.
those
That's
early
fine.
mornings,
I don't
I
know
am.
about all that. Bonnie had a 28-hour stream, Rescue.
You haven't had a 24-hour stream?
She
I,
had a 28-hour stream.
Oh, Bonnie did?
I
Yeah.
slept though. Carl
Oh,
and
you
Silver Girl,
slept?
yes, Carl and Silver Girl kept it going. I woke up and they're still going, and I'm like, whoa, what's going
Dang.
on?
Well, that's one way to do it, I reckon.
Yep.
Hey, as long as they're entertained, that's all that matters.
So the rumor is, Rescue, that Bonnie sleeps around now. She goes over to other panels and sleeps on them and stuff. And
Oh, well, I've known that, though. That's why she only says hi. And then if you'll notice, she doesn't really talk much in chat, and that's because she sleeps.
Y'all make it sound. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to have to start throwing in some of that really hardcore music every now and then, and that way she'll be listening, and then it'll say, like, bam, wake her up.
I'm the community sleeper. Okay.
everybody's going to be remembered for something, Bonnie.
Let's see, who was it that somebody fell asleep up here on mine one night? Well, Billy had fallen asleep before, not Mrs. Billy, but Turning Guns Billy.
Yeah.
He was. Monty's fell asleep, I think. And hell, I fell asleep. I fell asleep on my own panel one time, and Monty woke me up.
And
He was on panel, and I was sitting there. We were playing a song, and I was just somebody was talking, and then next thing I know, I just nodded, and then Monty was going, rescue, rescue. I was like,
yes,
oh, yeah.
I was on 2 calls yesterday that I fell asleep.
There's never been a time in my life where I can sleep sitting down. I can sleep standing up for a second, but I have to lay down. So as long as I'm sitting up, I'm never gonna fall asleep.
I mean, I actually sleep probably more quicker and at ease sitting up than I do laying down.
Yeah.
I can literally sit up and then I sit here and sometimes I even wonder if I have that. What do they call that? Narcolepsy or what? Some weird word. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
shut up.
narcolepsy. Narcolepsy, where you can just nod out, not even know when it's coming.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I'll sit there, man. I'll be sitting there. Sometimes just like I go, I just kind of shut down for about 20 minutes.
That's
I wish, man. I wish.
Here lately, I ride the pill train here lately, so it just kind of like take these damn pills
yes.
and then I go out and I do stuff, and then they're really kicking in, and then I can't even. It's hard to even hold things in straight lines. So then that's when I come in and I lay down until it wears off, and then I get up and I sit around and then I function for a little bit, and I think, okay, well, I guess it's been long enough. And then I'll eat some more, and then I go do it again, rinse
Good
and
to see you,
repeat.
Showboat.
Yep. Well, and
Couple
once I
Hey,
eat,
Nikki.
that's it. Conk. Because I can't eat before I go live. But if it's going too late, then I'll get me something to eat. And once I eat, that's when I'm like, oh, here we go.
Right, Billy. Now, if I could only wreck a scooter. I know, man. You people, boy, that was a trip. That was take away the breath
scooter.
thing there for a moment. It was like,
I've seen.
man, I don't know. Is he all right? Is he
I've
okay?
seen.
And everybody was kind of like, I don't know. And by the time you finally hear this, he's like, oh, I hear something. I hear something. And then the phone starts to move, and it's like, yeah, he's alive. Okay.
I remember I was there, man. I see Scooter around every so often.
Watch this, rescue. I got this. Check out this new scooter. We're going, boy, and he's got the camera on this on the speed now. Boy, it's going, and all of a sudden it's like shake, 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 wah, 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 wah.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
don't
oh
know,
shit.
but the chat immediately nicknamed him Scooter after that.
That's it. That's
I think it
Scooter.
was a mirror that said it first, or somebody like that. But man, forever.
so
Yeah, it was
who,
either Huckleberry or Anti.
Everybody will be remembered for something.
who was it that wrecked the scooter?
It
It
was you
a guy
people.
named You People. It was his handle.
You people?
Yeah, that's his channel name, and he's still got it. You people. It's the letter U and then people. And yeah, now we just call him Scooter when he comes in there. He stops by. He even said it that night because I went live and I was up, and then he come up and he goes, "Hey, rescue! I'm glad you went live. Check this out. I was hoping you would so I could show you this." Well, it was in the garage, and he's like, "Yeah, I was gonna take you for a ride, but," and I forgot what it was. Something wasn't right or something. Well, then we ended up we're talking. Well, while we're talking, he just commences to working on it, and he gets that fixed, and he's like, "Oh, well, here," and he opens the garage door, and off we go. And oh man, that thing, yeah, 50 miles an hour.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then all of a sudden it hit the ground, buddy, and it was like, oh, there you go. Thanks, Cindy. That's
It
you
looked like
people.
it hurt. It did. It looked like it hurt.
He ended up with surgery?
No? Well, he went to the ER and he had to have his arm in a sling. I don't know if he ever had to have shoulder surgery or not,
Bless his heart.
but he had to walk it back. He walked it back and we talked to him the whole way.
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Okay, so Indy said, yeah, he had the surgery on his shoulder.
Dang.
Oh, okay. Darn.
Yeah. It was, man, that was a trip that night.
One of
So
life's most embarrassing moments.
well, I don't know. That
Hey,
wasn't really embarrassing. Hell, he got up, he walked that shit off, buddy. But I know the chat is nothing but text, but you could feel the vacuum even from all the people going, even in chat, because it was just like, yeah, it's like going and we're looking at 45, 47, and about that time things start to go woo, and then it hits the ground, and then there's nothing, and it was like, oh shit.
That's why I want to be live my entire journey across the United States. I'm going to have to upgrade my shit so I can actually do that, man. Set the phone on the dashboard and go. That way, if I fall off a fucking canyon wall or something, at least it entertained all of you.
Right. Hey, unknown, what's up?
Well, that's when I had the camera on the dash. I would do that in East Texas. Y'all don't have any traffic over there, or well, Northeast. There's no traffic, and we were loving it because here it is. I went to town just earlier, just before you came on, and sit there for 20 minutes waiting for a clear spot to zoom out there, and I stepped on the brakes and I said, "What happened to my brakes?" So I stopped at the tire shop and I said, "I need to see if I need brake fluid or brakes." So they went to mush. And they were eating lunch, so he told me I had to come back later.
Damn.
I know.
Craig, it's good to see
We're
you.
easy.
Unknown challenge, man. I feel bad when I can't say hello to everybody. What's up, Best? Kiss off, Craig, Andy, Craig, Guns, Craig, Billy, Craig, Loops, Chair Bear. Well, it's not letting me roll any farther. Craig,
Craig.
Craig. Hey, Sandy.
now he has to answer all that rescue. Every time you said Craig, now he has to say rescue. That's the game. Some chats we might say Craig, Carl, Craig, Carl, Carl, Craig. It might go back and forth 50 times. I don't know how many people are hip to it yet or not, but I find it at times hilarious.
We're all going to start using initials. CCR.
That might spell something through the chat.
And then we'll get zapped for trolling.
Oh, he's going to make a song out of it now.
Well, no, that isn't. Who is it? Is it that? I don't know. It's one of them fancy foo-ha-ha artists. Say my name. Say my name. I forgot. It's some chick that sings
Yes.
that.
Well, you just
Craig
sang.
probably knows the song. Probably has the song.
He changes the lyrics around a little bit. I miss Opera Boy. That's who I miss.
Oh, I need to jump down. Sounds like I have company.
All righty, Miss Bonnie.
Y'all
Oh,
have
you're always welcome.
Have fun, Bonnie.
Take care, ma'am. Thanks for coming up. Now she got to figure out how to lead.
Yes.
I don't know what it looks like on that end. You should have something, or you know what? I think if you just close the dang browser window, it leaves. Yep.
Pushing all the buttons till you figure it out.
I will say this one is kind of nice because it literally has a nice red button that has a white X in it, but then it has the words that says end stream instead of just, oh, here, exit. No, don't exit. This one's exit stream.
I had a bad habit of pushing back. All right, because when the buttons are down the very lower right corner, so is my back button. Right, so I'd go to push one button down there, and I'd hit that back button, and it would go to the previous page I was on, and I'd be kicked off. That was where I had to train myself to stay the hell away from that button.
If the sun's out like this all day, God dang it. You know what? Dude, you better stop. And she walked around the corner, so she's out of range, and she knew it too, because
Mhm.
she was doing the little subtle growling as she rounds the curve, and as she rounded the corner, that's when she let out the bark again. Stop it! It's not here, and that's all that matters.
No, I loved my dog, man. She didn't. If somebody, all right, at the flea markets, for instance, that have walls up around the canopy and stuff, and we'd be inside there spending the night. And if somebody walked down near the tent, she'd go, "Grrr." And that's all she would ever do. You know, there was no barking, and she loved people. But rescue, there was two people out of her 17 years of meeting hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands. There was only two people on the planet she didn't like. And she'd come and sit right next to me and go, real low, where only I could hear it. I still wonder to this day what the hell was wrong with those people. While suddenly, out of thousands of people, there were two guys on the planet she didn't like at all.
Well, man, you know, dogs just pick up vibes from people. We used to laugh with our older dog that we had when the kids were little, because we took him. He was raised with the kids and us, and he went everywhere. Well, we could be sitting in a parking lot or something, and he'd be sitting there and he'd watch people walk by the truck. But and then all of a sudden, one person, and it could be a lady, young lady, older lady, could be a guy, older, younger, white, black. It didn't matter. But then this person will, and all of a sudden, boy, the ridge would go up, and he'd go, "Ooh," and it'd be like, holy shit. And then all of a sudden, here comes two kids or something, you know, loud, oh yeah, and he's just like, oh, and it's like, holy shit, man. And yeah, dogs just pick up vibes from people, and they're like, yeah, this person, there's something about that person. If the dog don't take to him, there's something about that person.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow that lead.
If a dog's comfortable, then they must be putting off a comfortable vibe. Oh, look, 86 and sunny eating Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
I don't know what we're up to down here. Let's see, what are we up to?
it's around 40 degrees right here. The snow all melted away. It's been kind of light misting and stuff. It looks like it's gonna rain. I guess at
We're at
least we had snow
75.
for Christmas.
We're at 75 here. I think Rock, aren't you like a little bit more west? I think Rock stays a little bit more West Texas.
Yeah, I think he's down. I saw palm trees in this video, so I know he's got to be somewhere closer to the coast, right? We got up to like 4 inches of snow here, but
Oh, there you go.
it didn't last. You know, it melted away last night. The last of it.
Okay, yeah. Rock stays over in the valley by McAllen. So, yeah, it's warmer warmer over there.
I've never met a dog I didn't like. Junkyard dogs, mean dogs. I don't care what they're. I walk right up to them, start petting them, whether they like it or not.
G-Mo Merkel, that's because it was a poodle. See, there's something, you know what? You'd have a complex too if you walked around and you had just a whole afro over your body, and people kept shaving
Oh,
you and sculpting you into things. You'd probably have an attitude too.
that's
Yeah, G-Mo
weird. You
Merkel
guys
says,
know
or it's
about
a mean ass dog because that fucking poodle was vicious and hated everybody but my sister.
yeah,
That's because it was
yeah. Poodles and Chihuahuas, man. I've seen poodle.
Chihuahua's
I
got
knew
middleman syndrome out the wazoo.
Well, I've seen him with, or I knew a guy that had like 3 Dobermans and a poodle, and the poodle ruled. All right, none of the
I can believe
Dobermans
it.
would fuck with the poodle. The poodle would just light him right the fuck up. You know, it was like, "Don't you dare fuck with me!" You know, it was like all the fucking Dobermans would sit back like, "Whoa, all right, we're cool." Seen the same
That
thing.
hateful beast is in hell is one of Satan's hounds.
Uh, And I've seen Chihuahuas rule the roost, man. The little itty bittiest of them all with the biggest mouth, and he's in control of everybody else.
Oh, dude, they got little man syndrome, and they're so territorial. They are a one person dog for sure. That's why I
If
like
I
my
get
pit
it,
bulls. My pit bulls, you know, those vicious man eating pit bulls, because they're so loving. You know, it's like my grandbaby just walks right up, reaches over there, and takes the bone right out of Rudy's mouth, and Rudy just goes, "Oh, oh, you want it? Okay."
I got pictures of me with pit bulls stretched across my lap like they're babies, man. I mean, big, huge, muscly dogs that they probably would eat you if you tried to fuck with their family, but they're big babies, man. I don't know. Pit bulls have this really, some of them are really clingy, one in your lap, and, they're just overly loving.
Hell yeah, he met everybody at the Missouri meetup last year. No, yeah, last year, not this year, but last year's. And Ghost had his dog there. They got there was no issue that I know of, and yeah, he got along with everybody. I want to try to harvest some of these gourds for future planting. Is that possible? Oh wow. Oh well, there. Lisa says yes. Turning guns. I was going to say Hutch would be the man. He would be the gourd guru.
Be cool to make birdhouses or something out of them.
That's what Hutch does. He
I haven't
grows them and then he takes them down and he got a Dremel. I think he uses a Dremel. He does a design. He gave some away.
See, I missed that. I don't know how I missed that, but that's cool.
I think it's been a minute. It's 3 o'clock.
401 here, 19-minute countdown. Where's 420?
Yeah,
Actually, I
once
got
this
it.
dries up, I'll get out there and I'll be able to show you all what I've been doing with the chickens. And although I got to tell you, after getting this Blackstone griddle thing and then having it out here on the front porch, I'm like, man, I don't know. Maybe I should have put the chickens out front right here, because then I'll just make this into like this will be the Cluckin Alamo out here. I can put my signs back here. I'm gonna try to. I don't know. I got to figure out a way. I'm gonna make some plaques or something. Figure she can see if she can sell them up at the bank. $10, $15 or something. But then I'm gonna try to close this. Take this patio door out and close this wall off right here. There you go.
420. Pass it to Billy.
Oh yeah, there you go. You can save the seeds, turning guns.
And it's, I got a little video on my page. You can see it's probably still there, as far as I know. But I got a clock out there hanging in the tree that's always on 420. Right? So, problem solved. I've been
You know what
smoking
they
since
say?
the beginning.
Even a broken clock that tells the right time twice a day.
Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's one thing with Texas can't really share. Apparently, I used to share more things that I did, but then I realized that probably isn't the best idea when people have bad intentions for you. Let me put my
All
shit
right,
up for the
man.
world to see.
I mean, you got more to lose. You got more to protect. I don't. I mean, I'm pretty much just me. It's just me, and I mean, I could use some excitement in life if they really want to fuck with me. Bring it, But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna worry about that shit. All the people I'm going to visit, I know them. I've always been around. So I'm not worried about what people know about me as much as some.
Hey, Philor. Philor says, I'm ready to watch more chickens to be hatched, rescue. Yeah, well, that's actually been in my thoughts because that's why I'm thinking of, I might even go ahead and try to move them over here to the front because I told her I think that's next year. My goal is to try to get a little chest deep freeze. And then I'm also going to start doing some meat chickens. And then I'm going to slowly try to, we're going to get some potatoes growing. Oh, dude, I'd have to show you this picture. Y'all get a kick out of this. Hold on a minute. I'll have to do it off my phone. So I remember I planted the potatoes in that cloth bag. And then I sat there and they grew and they grew. And I'll have to show you that, yeah, what they amounted to.
Sounds like you got some good results.
Oh, no, I didn't. It's going to crack you the fuck up. You're going to be like, what the hell is that? Rescue. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I know, right? That's my potatoes. I'm glad this ain't fucking for survival right now. God dang. I'd starve to death. All right, where are you at? There you are. All right, so I'm going to tell you now, when I show you this picture, that you're going to see a Bic lighter in this picture, and that Bic lighter is reference for size. So that way you can see just, if you want to know how bad is. Here, let me see. I'm going to do full screen. Okay. So this was my potato harvest. All them potatoes, this was my potato. Hey, Miss Leslie.
Oh, all right. You got it. You could make a salad out of that, I think.
That's probably 2 bites, yeah. That's why I put the Bic lighter for size, for reference. It's like, yeah, that was a potato harvest. And dude, if I should have taken a picture of all the green up top, because given the green up top, you'd have thought there was a whole lot more. I know I did.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, wow, okay. I think it's because it was a 3-gallon cloth bag or something.
I literally over the years have just thrown old potatoes out into the dirt and the compost, and they just have taken off. I've never, had to
Man,
start from them.
dude, that was a trip. Hell, that was good soil. I watered them, and the greens come out, man. And them things had 3 and 4 foot long vines to them. They look good, and it just that was the outcome. It was like, oh, okay, sure thing, buckwheat. Not eating these bad boys. Oh, and hey, Miss Leslie, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I catch Joey every now and then. At least for a moment.
You know what?
I'm glad y'all are doing okay.
Come to think of it, Zach made you look like an amateur with his potato harvest.
Oh, I am an amateur.
Well, that's the only other potato harvest I've seen, so that's the only one I can speak for. He did pretty good. He looked proud of it.
I got to say, man, looking at the green coming out the top, I'm going, oh, wow, that'll be cool. There ought to be, it looks like there's probably 2 or 3 really good sized potatoes down in there. This is going to be awesome. I'm watering them, buddy, and they're growing. I'm thinking, oh, man, that's going to be pretty cool. And that's when I told her, going, you know what? Okay, they're starting to die off. Now it's time to harvest these. So I dumped them out, and I'm like, well, I know there's potatoes in here somewhere. I think, oh, look, here's a nugget. And then I'm like, oh, shit, man.
I wonder if it was the potatoes itself that was the problem.
It might have been because it was just one of the golden russets out of the bag, from the store. So took the eyelets and I set them to the side until they started to have some sprouts. And then I was like, the SD dog went and he goes, just plant it. So I planted it. And seeing that might be part of it because I just planted the whole chunk, down in there. And then it's just a little 3-gallon cloth bag. It didn't mean nothing to me. It ain't like, oh man, I laugh because, I'm fixing to do it again. We're fixing to have a potato box because that's the one thing. That's why, man, you know what? Worst case scenario, I mean, you know what? You can make it through some times if you got some chicken, some fish, some potatoes, some carrots, maybe some mustard greens. You can make do.
That's how I've learned a whole lot of things is by trial and error.
No, Phil, I think it was because it was growing soil, so it wasn't like just dirt. I mean, I got the soil to grow in, so it was a Fox Farm soil. But I think that little cloth bag, and that I didn't put different. Like if I had taken those three eyes and cut that piece off and put it over here on this side, and then took these three eyes and cut that chunk and put it over, I might have ended up with some bigger, but those were just off of one chunk. So I guess that's what you get.
231 mentioning something like that's probably why I always did well, because I just threw them in the compost, and they would grow.
Yeah, see, and hay works that real good. I've heard hay down here. And I've thought about doing that, getting a couple of bales of hay and then just creating a bed and then putting the soil on top, but then underneath having that bed of hay. Actually, what I ought to do, it just dawned on me. Hell, I need my son when he was in junior in high school. He worked for a dude not far from here that actually has a potato farm. That's what they do. They go out there and
Oh,
they
train.
get out there and dig up potatoes. This is true, Rabbit. I now know. Hey, you know what? That's people be like, "Oh, rescue's a know-it-all," and man, I don't know it all. I can tell you a million things not to do that don't work though.
Yeah, man. I was just recently told I was a know-it-all, and I was called out.
Huh.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So while we're on the potato topic, because I want to ask this. So now, when it comes to potatoes, like in a box or in a soil bed, is it best to keep the soil damp? You don't want them flooded, but you want it to stay damp all the time. Because like there's some plants that you don't want them to go too long without any moisture, because then they'll die off.
You asking
Or is
me
that
or the chat?
chat?
Because I don't know.
See, because that's another thing I'm trying to make sure. Because like, okay, if I'm gonna build this box, and if I need to keep it moist, then I might even just do like a sprinkler hose down through the bottom, and
I
then just
think
turn it
the
on
idea
for
is,
like 30 minutes every day.
I think the idea is you don't want so much water flow that it drains all the nutrients. I think you want it to stay moist and stuff, but not too much water that you're draining away from it.
Hey, Miss Amy, she says, "Woot woot! Hey, y'all just came in on the Trump train. Choo choo."
Whoo! All right. I used to
Raised
build my
garden
own
bed that
little.
I cover with dead leaves. I water every 2 or 3 days, depending on the heat. And then
I
Billy's like,
used to.
just like God. See, I can't down here because God has us on a moisture diet. So some days we get a lot of rain, but there's most of the time we have these long spells that there's no rain.
All I've noticed really about growing stuff is dirt matters, man. Because I've grown a few places in Michigan, but there was one house that was an old farmhouse, and the backyard was just lush. All right. I They talked knee high before the 4th of July. My corn was 7.5 foot tall by the 4th of July. This soil was crazy good, except I couldn't get melons to grow worth of shit. Everything else grew out of hand. I mean, I had more zucchini than ain't no man it should ever have. I was giving it to everybody, still had too much. But
Hell, dude, D dogs corn that shit. Let's see. I think it was 8 or 9 feet tall when he walked through
yeah,
his garden. That was some tall shit.
but I've
But
grown it
see, I
in
think
like
that's the
harder
benefit of like
soil.
the snow y'all get, because when y'all get that snow, you're it's like it's like burning forest. It actually is helpful in times, when you burn the fields, and then now the ash helps the soil become better. Well, I think the snow works in y'all's benefit that way up there. I think you get a good saturation of the
But
nutrients and stuff.
but you can't even say that because it's so different so many places. Other places I've grown corn, the soil was more compacted, it like had more clay in it. You know, the stuff on that good garden,
Uh,
it was just like dark chocolate brown, fluffy soil. You know, it was like black dirt, but it was, you know, kind of like dark brown dirt. And black dirt works great, but I've always mixed stuff with it, you know, because Michigan, you got swampland, you got fields that flood with clay all over them. But you know, I think what it was the manures and stuff from that old farm. I think that
oh
there was
yeah.
so much stuff that was put in that yard over the years that's what made the super dirt, you know?
Oh, big time. Yeah. Because even the runoff, you know, like if you're downhill from somebody that has cattle or something, then when it get that heavy rains, you'll get the wash off of nutrients, and then that soil down there, you can't go wrong. That's shut up. It's a freaking my
And I
God.
wouldn't have really known that except I started digging in the yard to make a garden, and the next thing you know, I was finding wagon wheels and, you know, one of those hoops that hold the cows. You know what I mean? One of those metal hoops that hold their neck. I found all
Oh
these. As the more I made, the bigger I made my garden, the more evidence of a farm I found. You know.
yeah. Michigan is kind of famous for potato right next to Idaho. Isn't that true? I don't know. Is Michigan famous for food?
I don't know what we're famous for, really.
Thought
It's
it was on the music side and then the manufacturing side. I didn't know y'all were into the food.
well, it's there. We are a fruit farm state, all right, like Traverse City, Michigan, in the upper lower peninsula. They're known for their cherries. They have a cherry festival. You can drive around the countryside. You're going to see cherry orchards all over the place, all kinds of different kinds of cherries.
Oh, okay.
And, and then as the farther you get away from Traverse City, you're going to see peach trees and plum trees and apple trees and everything else. But they're just kind of more known for the cherry thing up there. And that changes as you go throughout the state. You know, I don't know. I seen once where something like the chili dog was invented in Michigan. I don't know, or the coney dog or whatever. I thought it would have been a New York thing or something, but yeah, it's all over the board here, man. There's stuff. That's another reason why I look forward to traveling, man. Is you guys have a whole different type of food going on. All right, I can go down there and enjoy. I love Mexican food. Texas, I remember as a kid, that was a good place to get Mexican food. Plus, you got like the Big Tex in there in Amarillo. I want to go back there. But down south, you could get barbecue at any restaurant you went to down there. They had barbecue ready to go. All right. It was like a staple of all of the restaurants. Same thing with slaw dogs. I love coleslaw on my slaw dog on my hot dogs. Nobody up here does that. Nobody eats their shit. I mean, there might be a few like me, but they don't serve those. You ask for slaw on your dog at a restaurant, they're going to look at you funny. It changes all over the country, man. That's what I've noticed. Georgia's known for their peaches. You know, I mean, Chicago. I go to Chicago. I'm getting me a pizza pie. All right, they're like, I got a pizza there back in the '80s. It must have been like 3 inches thick. Rescue. I mean, it's not all crust. It was like a pie.
There you go.
I think they do that in New
Like a
York
pot pie,
too. Yeah, like a
like a
pot pie, man, but big. You know, heavy.
meat pies.
Mm, pizza meat pie.
Yep. There used to be a pizza place. I think it was up out around Austin. I think it was called Conan's, and that's kind of what they used to do as a pizza pie. And I was like, damn, man, no, and it was big, it was good, filling. Of course, back then we just kids on the move. Kimberly's are a common potato in Michigan. Is that true? Kimberly's? Didn't even know that was a potato.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Seems like all the potatoes I knew about growing up was Idaho. That's what I think of when I think of Idaho. potatoes.
Or
I don't even
you got your red taters, you got your russets, your golden taters.
See, we got
I
this
like the
going
red
on.
taters.
I saw a meme not long ago, Rescue, that said, to everybody else in the world from like a Texan, just so you know, if you cook it on the grill, it doesn't make it barbecuing.
That's it.
Because that's
Barbecue.
true, man. Everybody up here is like, what are you doing for the weekend? I'm going to barbecue. What are you having? Oh, hot dogs and hamburgers. Maybe some, not barbecue. There's no barbecue involved.
You got to get that brisket in there. Well, hey, Mr. Carl, I think I might be fixing to shut it down.
Right
I'm at
on.
what am I at? 39% on my battery.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me up here, brother.
Oh, you
I'll
got
see
it, buddy.
I'm gonna post my travels, so I mean you'll know when I'm headed that way.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna try it, man. I mean I really am. It's looking
Hell
forward
yeah,
to it,
dude.
man.
You're more than welcome to come down here. You can pull right up and park. And you just stay as long as you want to.
I appreciate that, man. You said that a long time ago. It feels like it's been a long time since this has been discussed, right? It's like, and now I see it happening, right? Anyways,
Doing New
eat.
Year's, yeah, kiss off. I don't know. I guess I'll try to maybe do something for New Year's.
Oh, I don't even think I've talked to you since then. I got over 1,000 subs now, brother.
Hell
Something
yeah, there you
happened.
go.
Something happened. All of a sudden, I started getting more subs and shit, and it's getting crazy views on videos. If I'm going around and I do if I come down there and see you and I do a live stream, we do it together, or I do some video or whatever we're doing, because I want to do stuff, man. I want to go see some things, and if I did that with everybody I meet up on with that journey, I think that'd be some decent content, man. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh hell yeah, that'd be cool. Get out and you get to see stuff, record it as you're doing it.
Yeah, I've been living vicariously through a lot of people for a long time. Now I'm gonna give back.
There you go. I will say the one letdown today is there won't be an exit song. I got no exit song. I got to create a video. That's the one thing about this platform. I can't just upload it real quick.
Okay,
So I'm
then
about
just
to
sing along with me. Then go. This is the end,
have
my only friend. The
I was
end.
I was more along the lines of that's all, folks.
All right, I'll see y'all somewhere.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna. I'm trying to get it together. So I miss chatting with y'all. Appreciate you coming up, Carl. And I appreciate y'all all coming by. It was good catching up. So just been getting some shit done around here, and sorry I just hadn't really taken y'all along. Kind of just been in my own little world, doing my thing. But we're gonna try to get back around and just kind of do me, take y'all along. But sorry, there's no exit song. I appreciate y'all. I will see you when I see you. Y'all take care. And tonight is Indy's. Indy has hers thing tonight. And then I think Shad does the deal on Friday nights, doesn't he? Still. But I appreciate y'all. Peace out. Y'all take it care. Make it a good day. Remember, you're the one that gets to decide these things. When you start the day, you don't have to react to everything. Just slow your roll and then make it a good day. Maybe you don't deal with that today, deal with it tomorrow, or you just say, oh, you know what? This is simple enough, and then move on. But make it a good day. I appreciate y'all. Peace.